Right. So as far as the guideware, as you stated, because when it comes to the guideware, especially in context to the policy center billing or claims, the applications remain same. Okay, you don't see any changes in the application followed by the kind of features which are involved in it.
Okay.
But when it comes to the usage perspective, according to the business rules, what organization is having, because every organization, they have their own business rules. Followed by this, if there is any government mandates changes, they want to make some changes in the existing application. That is where and how generally the guideware changes you can see. You don't see major changes in it. Let's say, for example, if you have taken the billing cycle, okay, because today let me discuss about the billing cycle part. Okay, guideware billing is what something we are discussing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So when it comes to the guideware billing, if you see and understand the guideware billing, let's say, for example, when there is any billing plan was made, or if there is any kind of agency billing is created, percentage of agency billing, whatever the uh, whatever the agency billing rates and all everything may vary from organization to organization. It will not be the same in all the organizations. Means whatever the commission are we going to pay, or else in context to the commissioning planning. Okay, because for example, if there is any kind of commission planning we are doing, in that commission planning we have some sub plans. So this sub planning percentage may vary from organization to organization. That is where and how usually the changes you will be seeing. Otherwise, remaining other functionalities and features what are needed and all everything will be as separate, as same. Understood? Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the point. Now, today I'm going to explain about the guideware billing on a high level note. Because
Yes, sir.
policy center you are aware of, but that is all about the policy creations, all that.
Yes, sir.
Next, when we talk about the claims center and all, you will be knowing about the claim processing, claim adjudication, followed by claim payments and settlements. This is what something we do in the claim part. Now, when it comes to the guideware billing, especially being into guideware testing point of view, because you are planning to switch over your career towards guideware testing. That was your major agenda. Now, when you are moving towards guideware testing part, based on the experience what you have, you are into the manual testing part, wherein you will be involving more on the functionality side. Am I right? Functional means
Functions, sir.
functional testing is what something which you will be doing. Prior to that, apart from that, whatever the required test scenarios, test scripts, test plans, this is what something which being into testing part, will you be doing it?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to understand the testing perspective, right? So either it is not only for testing perspective, of course, even for the one which I'm explaining now, this is nothing to do with only testing, because whatever I'm explaining today about the guideware billing part, that is even it can be related, it can be related even for a role of a business analyst. And this can be useful even for the developers also, because having a knowledge over the functional side, not only for business analysts, because functional knowledge is required more for a BA, point number one.
Yes, sir.
Second, it is required even for developers also, because developers are not only confined to the coding part, but they should have some functional knowledge over guideware. That is important, billing or whatever it is. Even for testing also it is required, because whatever the manual testing you will be doing, you need to understand the functionalities.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to know about the functionalities of guideware billing, first of all, we need to understand the business process flow. What is the business flow you will be having in guideware billing? Means what are all will be doing using guideware billing as a guideware billing testing professional? What are the different business process flows we have? So the business flow, as far as the guideware billing itself is concerned, will be classified into three different parts. The first one about create a billing plan. Point number one. Second, modify the payment plan. The third one about creating an account. Create an account. Okay, these are the three major business flows will be there whenever we are working on the Guidewire billing. One, we have to prepare some different billing plans we have. What are the different billing plans we have? So different billing plans we need to understand. Next, we need to perform modification of the payment plans, whatever the different payments we have and all. So how these payment plans can be changed. So this is all something comes under the payment planning part. I'm talking about in this payment plan wherein whatever are we talking about, either it can be like querying the data, right? So or else it can be creating and as well as the modifying it. At the same time, changing the payment plan structure, or else it can be relating to an extent possible more about the agency billing. So this is all something comes under the modification of the payment plan. The third one about creating of an account means how do we create an account, right? So what are the different account creations can be done? Everything can be comes under that. So these are the three basic business flows which are applicable when we are working on the, which are available, which are based on the Guidewire billing. What is that are we going to use? Understand now? Clear?
Yes, 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 sir.
Now, when it comes to the plans, as far as the first one, when it comes to the plans itself is concerned, normally plans will be classified into four to five different plans, I can say. There are five different plans when it comes to the planning is concerned. The first thing is about the billing plan, as I told you initially. One is about the billing plan. Second one is about delinquency plan. Third one about payment allocation plan. I will come back in what way being a tester it is related for you last finally. Okay. But
Okay,
before
okay,
you
sir.
want to know this, first you must be knowing this well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Payment
sir.
plan. Next, fifth one, I can say this is optional, right? So this is not something this is something not related for every this thing and all, but a written off premium plan will also be there, right? So these are the five different plans we have. One is about the billing plan. Second is about delinquency plan. Third about the payment allocation plan, payment plan, followed by return payment plan. So these are the five different plans which normally we have whenever we are working on the Guidewire billing. This is what something which normally the plans are. Do remember, again, I'm repeating in context to the business process flow, whatever I'm explaining you.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the first point. I'm not talking about the payment plan and all. Payment plans and all, everything comes next. Okay, creating an account, everything comes next. But if you want to create a plan, first of all, billing plans are different. Delinquency plans, payment allocation plans, etc. So this is how generally the categorization will be made. Now, if you are a testing professional, let's say if you are a testing professional, or I can relate even for a business analyst roles also, this point, whatever the point I'm explaining you now, this is not only as a tester, because even for a business analyst also, the one which I'm explaining now will be useful. Now, when it comes to the billing plan or whatever the delinquency plan or payment allocation or payment plans and all, there are some functionalities which generally being a business analyst will write. Okay, because for every plan, whatever we have created, there are different functionalities which are related. Those functionalities will be written by the business analyst by identifying and interacting with multiple stakeholders and all, they will be identified it. So once they have identified the functionalities, those functionalities has to be developed using code file by the developer. This is the second level, you know that. using
Mm-hmm.
GOSO programming, all that. Now, if you want to ensure whether a developer has written the right functionalities has been executed by them, for that, it's always important for us to perform some test cases and all. In this process, understanding the functional testing is what something being a testing professional you will be performing. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
there are different functionalities which are applicable under the billing plan, delinquency plan, payment allocation plan, etc. And do remember whatever the functionalities I'm explaining you now, these functionalities are same for all the plans whichever is mentioned over here. Means if you are a tester, if you are performing a functional testing, either it can be billing plan or whatever the plan and all, whatever the functionalities are you going to write now remains constant and remains common. Point to be noted. Is it clear to you now? Understood?
Yeah.
Now write down the
Mm.
functionalities. Write down. Please make a note.
Sure.
Functionalities being a testing professional.
Testing professional.
Functionalities being a testing professional.
Mm-hmm.
One should understand. One should understand as
Mm.
follows.
As
As follows.
follows. Okay.
What are the functionalities are there in the billing plan or delinquency plan or the rest of ones? Okay. So what are the different functionalities related? Again, I'm repeating these functionalities are common for all the plans. Whenever we are using a billing plan, the same functionalities are applicable. At the same time, when you are going for payment allocation plan also, the same functionality is applicable. Even for other plans also, the same functionalities will be applicable. Now, the functionality 1.
Okay.
Plan order. Plan order. PLAN plan, order. Plan order is one functionality you will be doing. Point number 1.
Okay.
Plan order means how you are going to planning the particular business plan, right? So how you are going to create some order form, right? So all these things are comes under the plan order part. Next, second point, endpoint for plan testing.
Yeah.
Endpoint for plan testing.
Plan.
Understood?
Endpoint for plan testing.
Endpoints, END,
Yes, yes.
POINTs, points for plan testing.
Okay.
This is the second one. Okay, endpoints for plan testing is the second functionality will you be doing in this. Okay, clear? Understand? Clear?
Yes, 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 yes.
Right. So that is the second one. Now the third one. Third one called as multi-currency. Multi-currency functionalities with plan. Multi-currency functionalities with plan. These are the three functionalities. These are the three core and major functionalities. These are applicable. These are applicable whenever we are creating planning. It can be billing plan, it can be delinquency plan, or it can be anything. These are the functionalities which are common. Now, if for example, if there is any plan order, means when you are creating any kind of plan orders or something of that sort, understanding over the planning order and how the planning order form will be created based on the user interface changes, if any, and all, everything will be done by the development team based on the user interface configuration, inputs given. Based on that, normally user interface designers or development team will create some order plans, etc. That has to be tested by the tester. Okay, it's all comes under the manual testing part, wherein you have to create test cases and all everything for planning order, etc. This is point number 1.
Okay.
Second, when it comes to the endpoint for plan testing means what must be the end result. For example, billing plan you are creating. For what purpose? There is a purpose of billing plan. You are creating to generate different types of billings. It can be agency billing, or it can be invoices you are creating, or it can be some kind of commission plans are we going to create in future, or if you are creating any kind of commissioning sub plans, right? So there are different billings will be there, right? So agency billing will be there. When it comes to the agency billing, again in that agency billing we have different agency billing plans. At the same time, whatever the kind of invoices are we going to create, there are different statement of invoices are there. Next, for every agency billing, there is a billing life cycle. Means how much time will it be taken to complete the billing life cycle? Because once a person has paid the premium, against to the premium, whoever is the agency person, he will get some commission out of it. So will this commission will get credited immediately? No, right? So there is some billing life cycle. The amount of percentage which is applicable for agency billing may vary from organization to organization, or more or less like the percentage remains same, because in the first question as you have asked, there are some changes happens, right? So or there are some modifications might be taken place from organization to organization, company to company. This is all something will be varied. Right. So this is where generally this billing plan, when it comes to the endpoint point of view I'm talking about, means what must be the end result which has to be concluded with, right? What must be the end result we have concluded? This is
Yes.
all something comes under the endpoint for plan testing and all. The third one about multi-currency functionalities with plan. Why? Because we are talking about billing. So billing, as well as the point of billing is concerned, currency may vary. Okay, because if you plan this currency, when you're talking about the currency of a respective country where we are performing. For example, if in India, this currency will be something will be in Indian rupees, right? So whereas if the currency is from the billing, everything happens in US and all, it will be in US dollar. It will be in Canada, it's a Canadian dollar, like that, right? So this is how generally these variations will be. There are different currencies are there. Let's say, for example, here in Indian rupee, if you are taken 30,000 rupees, right? So let's say 30,000 rupees, wherein that can be currency, it can be converted into dollar. Because if US dollar currency rate will be different, wherein Canadian dollar currency will be different, right? So that's where generally the multi-currency functionalities in context to the plan is also something which normally created by the development team that has to be tested by a testing team here also. So when it comes to the testing role, as far as the guideware billing is concerned, this can be done, then this can be applicable even for creating the plan order. At the same time, whatever the endpoint plan orders we are going to create, even it is applicable even for that testing also, because if you want to perform and identify the final test results and all, based on that endpoint plan testing will be applicable. At the same time, multi-currency functionalities for different currencies, the planning of whatever the plans do we have and all everything will be applicable. So these are the three major functionalities. Being into the testing side, functional testing is what something which normally being a guideware tester, one has to perform. So when you are going for an interview, there are possibilities. There are possibilities. Sometimes they may be asking you what are the functionalities being a guideware tester you are addressed so far, or you are about to address so far. So if that was the question, okay, this was the question, then these are the functionalities which you have to be mentioned. Understood? Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Is it clear to you now? Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And do remember, again, I'm repeating couple of times, these functionalities, whatever are the functionalities I mentioned, this is applicable for delinquency. At the same time, this is even for applicable for payment allocation. This is applicable even for payment plan. And this is even applicable for rate premium plan also. For whatever the kind of plan you are going to perform, whatever the functionalities I have discussed with you so far, these are all remains constant all the time. Understood? Clear?
Yes, yes.
Understood or not, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So this is where generally we talk about the one. Now we are going to discuss about the first one about the billing plan we have discussed. Now we are talking about the delinquency plan. Write down. Write down about delinquency plan. So what is meant by delinquency plan is all about, because there are some questions they may ask you from the delinquency point of view, right?
Yeah,
So
like one of the interview they're asking about the billing center, like what is delinquency?
right. That's what. See, first of all, you must be knowing about what is delinquency if you want to answer that.
Yes, yes.
Under the delinquency plan, write down.
Okay.
It is set of values. It's a set of values.
Mhm.
It's a set of values
Mhm.
followed by workflows
Mhm.
followed by workflows that determine
Determine
uh, how to execute
how to execute
delinquencies
delinquencies.
uh, delinquencies for
Mhm.
set of account policies.
Now, account policies. Mhm.
Right? Set of
Yes.
account. Right. So this you have to understand this from the policy what we are creating, because normally whenever we are creating a plan, okay, whenever you are going to create a plan, do remember there will be some tricky questions you may come across. Is there any kind of plan you are preparing without delinquency? Okay, if this is a question, please do remember the answer must be no, because without any delinquency details and all everything, you cannot create any kind of plan. Okay, for example, if you want to create any kind of account, okay, for example,
Okay.
account creation, I'll discuss it later. When you're going to create any kind of accounts, all that, we have to
Mhm.
specify the delinquency plan for sure. Without having any delinquency plan, normally account creations and all everything were not possible, because you need to mention the set of values, whatever are easy, whatever are really important and whatever are really needed. So for that reason, generally this delinquency plans and all everything are applicable over here. Understood? Clear?
Okay. And
Understood?
when that delinquency will occur, I mean, what is that exact meaning?
Delinquency plan means what are the set of values, because you need to provide values for the account, right? Different values we have to provide for the account. So whatever
Okay.
the values you are going to provide for the account and all, for that we need to provide delinquencies. Delinquency relates and represents that.
Okay.
Understand? Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Means you are going to provide some values. For example, you are creating an account where you are giving a value for a policy. Okay. For example, policy rating is there, right? So wherein you have given some set of values for the particular policy what you have created. So that values are differs from the policy to policy. This is all something will be varied. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So with the set of values, whatever the set of values you are going to create when you are going to create an account, right? So for that, we have to specify the delinquency plan in context to that. So that's the reason why when we are going to create any delinquency plan, it is always important wherein you need to understand about what are the different plan orders we need to create. At the same time, even multi-currency functionalities, everything will be comes under the delinquency plan. Understand? Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The third one about the payment allocation plan. Third one about
Okay.
payment allocation plan. This is to refer with. This is to refer with
This is
set of values. set of values which are associated with the accounts
which is associated. Okay.
which is associated with accounts
Mm-hmm.
accounts that represents
Mm-hmm.
or in spite of represents you can write that refers
That refers
unapplied funds
un
unapplied funds
unapplied funds. Okay.
unapplied
Okay.
unapplied funds
Mm-hmm.
unapplied funds which are allocated
Mm-hmm.
which are allocated to unpaid invoices which are allocated to
Unpaid invoices.
unpaid invoices. This is where generally we call it as payment allocation plan is all about. Understood? Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Now the fourth one is called payment plan. So this represents
This represent
the charges for the policy
charges for the policy
that we are charging
that we are charging
at the time of billing.
Of billing.
At the time of billing, this will be comma continuation. This will be divided into invoice items and placed on invoices. Invoice items and placed on invoices.
Okay.
Next, when it comes to the return plans,
Okay.
return premium plans, this represents
This represent
how credits from negative charges, how credits from negative charges are applied to unpaid invoices, unpaid invoices and items of the policy. And items of the
policy.
Right? So this is where generally return premium plan will be.
What is the meaning of that item of policy, sir? Item
Sorry?
of the policy. What is the meaning exactly? What is that we
Return premium plan means if there is any kind of returns which normally we have planned. For example, if there is any kind of return of the policies we have created, generally for that return of the, because this is an optional one, right? So this is not something compulsory for all the plans, whatever, because there are different premium plans we create, right? So whenever we are going to create any kind of premium plan, there are some credits normally happen because I'm talking about premium credits. Okay. So whenever we are going to create any kind of premium credits and all, whatever the negative charges are applied for the existing invoices and all, that is all comes under return premium plan. Understand? Clear?
But items like you mentioned right in the end represent how credit from negative charges are applied to unpaid invoices and the items of the policy.
Yes. In terms of policies, because when there is any kind of premium plan we have created, because we need to mention the invoice items, right?
Okay.
So there are some unpaid invoice items which can be connected even with the negative charges. That can be applied even for the negative charges also. That's where generally this return premium plans comes into existence.
Okay.
Understand clear?
Yeah.
So when coming to the tester point of view, again coming back to the tester point of view, as far as the Guidewire billing process itself is concerned, this is what something which we have to be performed whenever we are talking about this, whenever we are performing about the business process flow and all, creating a building plan, or it can be delinquency plans and all everything, or something relating to this one. Understood? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Next one about the accounts, creating an account. Modify the payment plan. Also, I mentioned right in the payment plan itself. I told you modification of the payment plan. All that modification of the payment plan.
Yes. That.
Second, about the modification of the payment plan. When we want to modify the payment plans and all everything, there are different patch items we have to provide. Different patch items normally we provided. So let me write down here, because this is not something, because we need to create patches. You know how to create patches, right? Right. So here, let me write. So this is where generally patches will be created, because for example, normally these patches will be done by the admin team, whoever is working as an admin role, whoever is in the admin role, right? So it need not be one person. Whoever is in the admin role, they have to create the patches for when we are going to modify any plans and all. This generally this payment plans will be created. Modification of the payment plans, wherein by applying these patches is what something which normally we need to create. For that, this is where generally the existing payment link or an endpoint we have to, because in the last thing I have told you, right? Endpoint functional testing is what something we have to do. Am I right? I have told you in the functional plan itself. So here we need to mention about this, right? So this is what something which normally we have to mention. This is where generally when you are going to modify the payment plan, this is where we need to give the patch for the endpoint, right? Patch admin, because admin is what something we do this modification of the payment plan. This is not something relating for tester, okay? Because admin people will be looking after how to create patches, all that. But technically speaking, because now and then, because testing, even though you are a tester, some kind of technical knowledge is becoming inevitable slowly. Okay, I'm not saying now, maybe in future. That's the reason why when you want to modify a payment plan and all, this is what generally the patch we have to provide whenever we are creating any kind of endpoints to the patches. This is what something we have to do. Understand?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
The next one about the accounts part, right? So the next one about the account part, right? So creating an account.
Okay.
This is the one. This is a business entity. You can write. This is a business entity. That may owns. OWNS owns. That may owns.
1 minute, sir. Can you say from the structure?
Sorry.
Can you say once again, sir?
Accounts I'm talking about. It's a business entity that may, MAY, may owns one or more policies registered which are applicable even for payments, which are applicable even for payments.
Yes.
Right. So accounts, you don't have much as a business testing professional, you don't have much this thing because you need to write down the query for accounts, right? So this is all something we have to do. But writing queries for the accounts and all is not something being a tester we do. Hence, I am not explaining it, okay? Because how to create an account or how to query an account, okay? Right. So, or else, what are the different payment instruments do we use when we are creating any kind of accounts and all? Or else it can be delinquency processes. These are all not something related for a tester role. Yes, I'm talking about tester role. I'm talking about.
Yes.
This is not something relating to the tester role. Hence, I am not getting into that side. Okay, I'm not getting. I'm explaining only to the context of a tester only. I'm explaining
Okay,
because
sir.
because whatever the guideware billing are we talking about, this is something common for a developer or a business analyst or a developer or a tester. Okay, it can be for anyone. But for the testing point of view, this functional testing, whatever I was mentioned you in the beginning of the session about the functionalities and all everything, that functional testing is something which you have to be performed uh, as a what we call as a uh, tester, right? As a tester, whenever we are working on the guideware billing, this is what something which you have to be good with. This is what something which you have to be familiar with. So this one you have to relate, right? So if you are relating this, then it
Yes,
is
sir.
enough. Okay.
Okay.
Along
Okay.
with that, we must be knowing about the agency billing also, right? Agency billing even because whatever you are going to pay, right? So agency billing, so that part even required. Uh, because agency billing configurations will be done normally because when there is any kind of agency bill plans we have, or if there is any kind of statement invoices we are creating. So billing life cycle, this is all something which in business analyst team will be doing. But BG agency billing will be there. But when it comes to the agency billing, there will be some commissions are applicable, commission plans. Because for agents, different agencies, there are different commission structure will be there. So
Okay.
the commission structure may vary from organization to organization. This is not something common for every organization because commissioning percentage can be varied. It will not be
Yes.
the same for all the it will not be the same for all the organizations what we feel. Okay, so that may vary. That may vary. So being into testing perspective, have you identified or have you come across any kind of changes in the commission plans or not, right? So that kind of questions people may ask you. So if that was the question, then you need to answer, right? So if there is any kind of percentage and context to the commission structure is concerned, right? Commissioning plan, or else it is here in that commissioning planning, we have some commission and sub plans also. Sometime back, I told you, right? So different
Yes. Yes.
commission plans we have, like means you need to provide some sub plan rates and all. And in about to the rates and all, rate configuration is something we have to do because depends on the type of policy we have taken. So the how the rate configurations will be done. The rate configuration should also be tested by the testing team. So that will also be there because rate configurations we do. So that rates configuration testing should also be done by us. So that
Okay.
that even we must be knowing. Okay, that we need to know, right? So it's not only about commission sub plans, all that. Even this rate configurations also required. Means, for example, when it comes to the rate patterns and all that, so there are different patterns of rates we follow. So how you are going to charge the rate patterns, right? So how you are going to perform the rate patterns, because for every rate whatever you are going to create, so there are different rate patterns will be applicable. So it will not be
Yes,
the
sir.
same for all the these things and all, right? Rate patterns and all everything will be varied from organization to organization because when we are going to provide any kind of schedulings and all, we need to provide some specific rates to the existing sub plans what we have created in the commission plan. So that is applicable from organization to organization. That will vary, but that answer if you want to provide, then you need to relate with your organization and then you have to see. which other organization are we working on? We need to relate to that organization and you need to provide that answer to them. So then it is more relevant. Depends on the type of project you have mentioned in your CV, because I know, because sometimes, of course, I'm not specifying you. Maybe, for example, some people maybe claiming experience from the claim point of view and all, then they don't get more questions about Guidewire Billing. That's a different story altogether. Understood? Clear?
Yes.
Right. So this is all about